Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the final session of the day. My name is Silke Caparelli, and I'm out of the Patent Pittsburgh office. You are attending the last session today. Is called Hot Off the Press, Resources to Assist Special Education Leaders. We're so glad you're here and you're hanging in for the remainder of the day. This session is 60 minutes long and it'll take us right up to 4 o'clock. This session is also being recorded. Know that all the sessions in the summit are recorded and will be made available to you in the very, very near future. There's closed caption available for all sessions in the summit simply by clicking on that lower right CC icon in your Zoom navigation pane. The link to the summit homepage and the handouts for this session, as well as all sessions, are available in your chat box. And before I read the bios for our presenters for this afternoon, if you have any content specific questions, please place them in the chat box for review. Presenting today, this afternoon session, we have with our very own patent consultants, Nicole Kopko and Ronnie Russell. Nicole has been an educational consultant for patent in Harrisburg since April 2014. Nicole has 24 years of special education experience in public education. Immediately before coming to patent, Nicole served as a director of special education. Nicole's credentials include Pennsylvania certifications in elementary education, special education, reading specialist certification, special education supervisor certification, and she recently completed her superintendent letter of eligibility requirements in December of 2020. At patent, Nicole serves on 3 statewide initiatives, and they include literacy, special education leadership, and special education law. Nicole also supports IUs 8, 10, and 11 as the patent point of contact. On a personal note, Nicole loves and enjoys spending quality time with her family, including her wonderful 8-year-old granddaughter, Gwendolyn. Ronnie is also co-presenting with Nicole today. Ronnie has served for over 23 years as an educational consultant with the Pennsylvania Training and Technical Assistance Network out of Harrisburg, a division of Pennsylvania Department of Ed, Bureau of Special Education. Her work includes regional coordination of special education cyclical monitoring in correctional facilities, intensive interagency coordination with child serving agencies, secondary transition, and Medicaid billing in schools. Additionally, Ronnie provides technical assistance to a number of schools with procedural safeguards, IDEA Chapter 14 regulations, autism, inclusive practices, and 504s. She received a master's degree in education from Springsburg University and has a teaching certificate K-12 in special education. Without further ado, we thank both of our presenters, Ronnie and Nicole. I'm going to turn it over to Nicole, hot off the press.
Thank you, Silke, for that wonderful introduction. And good afternoon, everyone. We are so glad to have you join us for this session of Hot Off the Press. This session will introduce you to 3 new resources that will help you in your role as a special education leader. These tools include, first and foremost, the visually refreshed Annotated Iep. Again, there has been no content changed, but the platform has changed drastically, and which will result in a much more user-friendly document for you and your staff. So we're going to walk you through that. The second resource that we're going to walk you through is an online course titled The Essentials of Iep Writing. You likely need to train new teachers and principals, LEA representatives, each year on how to correctly write an IEP. This course can provide that with you, with or for you, depending on how you choose to use it. And last but not least, a Google site. We'll be looking at a Google site that aligns with all topics that are part of the cyclical monitoring process that can be used for a number of purposes. It is titled Cyclical Monitoring and Special Education Programmatic Improvement, a comprehensive resource guide for education leaders. Before we dig into our content, I just wanted to share Patent's mission. The mission of the Pennsylvania Training and Technical Assistance Network, Patent or PTAN, is to support the efforts and initiatives of the Bureau of Special Education and to build the capacity of local educational agencies to serve students who receive special education services. PD and Patent's commitment to the least restrictive environment is to ensure that each individualized education program team begin with the general education setting with the use of supplementary aids and services before considering a more restrictive environment. The first resource that we want to explore with you is the Annotated IEP. As most of you are aware, we have always had an annotated version of each special education form in Pennsylvania. The purpose of the annotated form is to give the reader detailed information about what is required for each section of that document. The Annotated IEP was a Word document that was originally 52 pages long. This means that the user had to scroll down in order to get to the page in which they were searching. Also, because of some of the annotation is very long, it always was wasn't always clear to the user which section they were looking at. The new document, however, that we'll be sharing in a few minutes, was done in a PDF format. This allows the user to click on either the table of contents or thumbnail pictures to get to the section they want to see, which means no more scrolling for minutes at a time. It also includes thumbnail pictures so the user can see what portion of the actual IEP looks like, while also seeing the annotated content, which will help those who are new to the resource and/or the IEP form. There is also a table of contents button at the top of each page that, when clicked, will take the user back to the table of contents. Again, this means far less scrolling and more efficiency. Before we show you the newly revised format, we want to be very clear that no content was changed. The IDA and Chapter 14 regulations were not recently revised, and so the content is the same. The only change was to the look and format. So let's take a look. And I'm going to be toggling back and forth between the PowerPoint and as well as the patent website. So that'll maybe take me a minute or two to get back and forth, but I do have it pulled up and ready to go. Okay. So is everyone seeing my screen? If we can just have a thumbs up, that would be great.
Yep, we can see your screen.
Okay, and it's on the patent website. Okay. All right, so if you're on the patent website, in order to find the annotated forms, any annotated forms on the patent website, you would merely go to the main page. This is our home page, if you will. You go to the legal tab, and right here, on this, you scroll down to special education and gifted forms. Okay, once you go there, you'll see this about halfway down, you'll see this blue tab here in what's in this section. You want to click again on school age special education forms. And then you scroll down to the bottom and you'll click on special education forms. When you do that, you'll get a search bar or search window, if you will, and you can click in keywords. So I already have it pulled up as annotated. Well, I did have it pulled up as annotated individualized. Guess it doesn't do that in Zoom. Doesn't pre-populate what you already searched for. Okay. So then when I typed in the keyword annotated individualized education plan, it was the first thing that on the list. So I merely click on that. And when I download it, this is what I get. And so for those of you who were familiar with the old form, as we mentioned, that was a Word document where you had to scroll through to get to the page you wanted to be looking at for the annotated information. With this, it's, again, the shift is in the format and how it's displayed. So the first thing that I want to call your attention to is obviously this is the cover page, much different than what we're used to seeing in the other format. There are a couple things that I want to point out. First is the table of contents button. This button is on every page. It's on the top right of every single page. So if I am going through an IEP and I thought, oh no, what did I write down for, special considerations? I want to go back to that page. So rather than, if I'm on page 52 or whatever it is, I don't have to scroll up to page 2 or 3 wherever special considerations is found. So I merely click on the table of contents, and that will give me the first 7 pages are your table of contents for the annotated IEP. So you can see here, you have 2 things that exist on every page, and we'll always take you back to that table of contents if you need to do that. Second, at the bottom left, and I don't think you can see it on my screen because it's hidden, you will always see the page number. So as you can see here, this is page 2 of 68. Now, again, this form's longer, but it's much more user-friendly, this annotated form. Another nice thing is on the bottom right, it tells you when the form was updated. So again, here on the bottom right, it was updated in December 2020, because this is the last time the content was updated. And in December of 2020, it was revised because this is the last time, or I'm sorry, it was revised because due to the inclusion of the new Act 26 secondary transition question. So that's when this form, as far as content, was revised. That was the only change. It did not include a change to content. The most current update remains December 2020. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to click on table of contents because I want to show you kind of how to, this all works. So this is a narrative list of the different sections of the IEP. So if I want to go down to the procedural safeguards notice, I can click on here. This also coincides with the letter D. And if I want to see the thumbnail version of this, it's right here. That's how it looks in the IEP. So procedural safeguards notice, there it is. I clicked on it. I can now see what I'm supposed to do for the, as far as the annotation goes for section D of the procedural safeguards notice. Again, I say, oh, gee, I need to look at, let's see, another. So again, table of contents are pages 2 through 7. So say I need to look at what I do need to include in present levels of academic achievement. So here I go. I'm going to click on it. I see my annotation here for what I need to do for present levels of academic achievement and functional performance. So again, there's all my information. All the content, again, did not change, and we're emphasizing that, okay? All right, so you can choose to click on a narrative, or the narrative list, or you can choose to click on the table of contents and do it that way. You can click on these thumbnails off to the left, and you can scroll through that way as well. You can skip around. You can go to different sections. If whatever section you want to do. But this form, again, you can always go to table of contents if you're not sure where you're at in the document. The table of contents is always going to be pages 2 through 7. And you can look there for what you need to do as far as annotation for your IEP. Any questions? I can't see the chat, so is there any questions?
There were currently no questions in the chat.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so I'm gonna toggle back to the PowerPoint. Just give me a second here and go on to our second resource that we're gonna be taking a look at. I gotta move the people on my screen because I can't see see things. And just let me fix the display. Okay. Hopefully you're seeing the Essentials of Iep Writing, correct?
That's what we see.
Okay.
You're good.
So our next resource is the Essentials of Iep Writing. This is a completely asynchronous online course, and it was made available throughout the 2020-2021 school year. So some of you on this Zoom might even have taken the course at some point, or maybe your staff have taken the course. Approximately 1,000 people took the course during the 2020-2021 school year. The course was originally intended to be a resource for special education leaders, to be a training tool for new special education teachers and building administrators who act as an LEA representative, but don't necessarily have the background in special education. However, we have found that there have been many additional roles who have found it to be very useful, including veteran general and special education teachers, related service personnel, families, advocates, attorneys, undergraduate students, and college professors. Many of the education leaders who have taken the course have commented that the course is something they believe all new teachers should take a part of the induction process. We have also had several special education leaders who took the course with all of their staff so that they could have ongoing discussions about each portion and how the content relates directly to their in-LEA practices. First, we want to give you the information about the course, and then we'll share just a fraction of the testimonials in the hopes that it gives you a better idea on how beneficial this course has been to so many people. Here's some general information regarding the participation and how the course is designed. Participants have 6 weeks to complete the course, which allows them to more easily fit it into their busy schedules, especially because they can work on it whenever they wish, because it's asynchronous, so that's, it's self-paced. Each module begins by telling them approximately how long it will take them to complete the module, but they can stop and restart mid-module if they need to. Participants who want to complete all 12 modules and pass the culminating quiz at the end are awarded 15 Act 48 hours. Each course has a maximum capacity of 300 participants. The 12 modules include an overview of the course, background information related to special education, common terminology, a module for each section of the IEP, and a module with considerations on how to prepare for and lead successful IEP team meetings. There is a required reflection post at every 3 modules. These and the quizzes are closely monitored by patent special education law consultants who reply back with comments in order to address any misconceptions they notice in the post, as well as to answer any questions that are posted. Each module has a quiz at the end. Participants must meet a minimum score before they can move on to the next module. They may try each quiz up to 3 times to meet the minimum score. The quiz questions, for the most part, are not easy, so participants can be proud of what they know and what they've learned. You'll see we captured some testimonials on this slide. That's not testimonials. Oh, I skipped one. Hold on. Going back. As for content makeup, the introductory module provides participants with resources to download or print to help them make direct connections throughout the course. These include the IEP, Annotated Iep, which we just went through, a checklist for writing an IEP, and a document to help with the alignment of each section of the IEP. Throughout the course, in each module are patent and PD publications and videos to provide participants with information about compliance and best practice related to each section of the IEP. Any of the resources available on the course can easily be downloaded or printed. Many participants have commented that they have made binders for each section of the IEP to help them as they develop their IEPs and to share with families and colleagues. Each module also has an audio PowerPoint that goes through each component of the IEP section being discussed that gives greater detail that can be obtained from reading a publication. There are also additional web resources provided, such as the Iris Center's website on IEPs. And lastly, we just wanted to capture and share some of the testimonials that, there's just 2 listed here, but we've gotten many testimonials regarding these, this particular course. Many newer teachers make comments that they feel much more confident in writing and holding IEP team meetings as a result of taking the course. Many veteran teachers comment that it was an excellent refresher and helped them remember details that they have forgotten over the years, including the need to really individualize each IEP, even when times make it difficult to do so. Many leaders commented that they would like all of their staff, including general education teachers, to take the course, in addition to having all new teachers take it as a part of their induction process. Several college professors have commented that the course includes excellent information and resources that they will share with their students to better prepare them for their work in education. Several special education leaders took the course and then had all of their staff take it as well. So that's just, again, we just wanted to share some of the testimonials regarding the course itself and the feedback that we've received this past year.
Nicole, 2 quick questions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Never mind.
Yeah, it was going to be
finish this section. Finish, and then there's a question that came in, but go ahead and finish this.
Okay, so I just wanted, this is how to sign up or how to register, how to have your staff register for the course, how you can register for the course. So just to give you the details of that, we have listed out the course, the 6-week courses throughout this coming year, the 21-22 school year. These are the dates that the course will be offered. To register, participants should go to the Patent website at www.patent.net and click on the training calendar, which I'm going to walk you through that real quick. And then registration information will be posted on the first date of the course. So again, for each of these times it's offered, you want to go to the training calendar, and I'm going to toggle back to the training calendar. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay, again, I'm just going to take you to the back to the patent homepage. Okay, so if I'm at the homepage, the training calendar is on the top left corner. It's always there. I just click on that. And then the first date that I see is August 16th. So I'm going to go to my August calendar. And then I just scroll down to the 16th. There's a lot going on that day, whatever that day was. Okay, there we go. The Essentials of Iep Writing. And I would click on there, and that would take me to the registration page, and I could go ahead and register for that particular 6-week session. Okay. All right, so I am going to stop sharing because Ronnie will be sharing in a minute here. Any questions regarding the Annotated Iep or the Iep Essentials?
Nicole, there's one question that was in the chat, and that is asking if participants can print the quiz scores. This person would like to incorporate this into a college course.
That's a good question, Silky. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the quiz questions can be printed.
So I know that Cecil has worked with other higher ed settings to help make this available. And so my recommendation to Karen Fry, Friends Fry, who asked, is to reach out directly to Cecil Crouch.
Yeah, I'll put his email in the chat there, so you can go ahead and grab it.
Yeah, and somebody suggested maybe taking a screenshot of their final quiz score to turn it in as part of.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Great. Other than that, Nicole, there are no further questions in the chat.
Okay, well then, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ronnie, who's going to talk to us about the cyclical monitoring resource that we have.
Okay. And can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. You're
Okay,
ready to
great.
go.
So as Nicole said, welcome everyone, and thanks for sticking with us this afternoon. We're really excited to share with you the Cyclical Monitoring and Special Education Programmatic Improvement Resource Guide for Educational Leaders. And we think that you'll really find this to be a really good asset and resource in your school district. So let's just take a look at some screenshots. And like Nicole just did, then we will take you out to the actual patent website to actually show you live where this is located. So as I said, this is a new PDE resource. And when you go to the patent website, which we will in a moment, you will go to legal, and then you will click on PDE resources. And then you'll see located there where like the red arrow is Cyclical Monitoring and Special Education Programmatic Improvement Resource. And just another view after you click on that, this is what you will see, a comprehensive resource guide for educational leaders. And basically overall, what we want you to know here is that it does provide you with state and federal resources that directly align with your facilitated self-assessment, the FSA, and the file review components of your special education cyclical monitoring. So it's going to be great for folks that have already been through monitoring many, many times, or maybe this school year is your first time going through cyclical monitoring. This is a really good resource to help walk you through that if you have questions when you have to complete your facilitated self-assessment and other components. This does provide you with state and federal resources that again directly align with that FSA, and the several ways that you can use this resource include preparing for those upcoming special education cyclical monitorings, meeting corrective action resulting from that cyclical monitoring. It will provide you with resources to assist in completing your special education plan. It will provide a general special education programmatic improvement. Also professional development for staff, and we'll go through some of those examples, and then maybe training for families if that's an area also. So again, this is just a screenshot of what it will look like once you click on that. And then this is what you'll see when you actually get into the Google site resource, and it tells you exactly what it is. And then again, like I just shared with you, it gives you what the purpose is of this resource. And again, the one thing to note here is any publication that's included on our patent website may be ordered and shipped for free by going on the patent website and ordering it. So again, you may print it out, but you can also order the resource and have it sent to you from one of our patent offices. So let's just look at an example. Let's say that your staff needs training in extended school year eligibility. You can click on the extended school year tab on the left side of the screen when you're into the resource and go to that part of the Google site to choose resources to match the needs for your training. And again, any of these things we're talking about, you can order hard copies for the resource. So here's what you'll see if you click on extended school year within this resource. You'll see that it provides to you what are the federal and state regulations that cover extended school year. There's an actual basic education circular that talks about extended school year eligibility. There's a publication. There's a video for considerations for your extended school year process. There's another video about extended school year. And what you'll find throughout all of these resources also is that our side-by-side regulations. So if you haven't printed that out already, or you don't have that as a link on your desktop, I would highly recommend that you have that IDEA, the federal regulations, and the state chapter 14 regulations handout very ready so that you have something to look at when needed. Here's just another example of an area that you might want to do training for families on least restrictive environment. Again, you'll see as we go to the screen live that you'll see a black box called, this one's least restrictive environment, and then you'll click on that tab and you can go to that part of the Google site and peruse the resources that you can use to help with that. And just one more example. So let's say that your school wants to improve their positive behavior support efforts. You can go to that part of the Google site to find resources that align to your behavior support plans. And then also what's really nice about this resource is that there's actually a file review tab. And what this does is it actually takes you through each portion of the cyclical monitoring and the actual file review questions. And so the one I have here showing you is the prior written notice for initial evaluation and request for consent. And it actually walks you through what you would need to have in those areas and so on down the list. So I'm going to stop sharing here and go out to the actual website. Okay, so here's our actual website. And like I said, when you go under the legal tab, you're going to click on PDE resources. And then you're going to click on cyclical monitoring and special education programmatic improvement resource. And there's that screenshot that you have in your handout. You're going to click on the underline, and here is the actual resource. And you see on the left-hand side, the general resources, so you can always go back to that. And if you scroll down, you will see all of the different areas that you can look at on this resource. There's also, if you're so interested in looking at other basic education circulars around special ed compliance, those are there. Our special education question and answer compendium and resources there. The OSEP letters searchable database is there, and so on. And then as I mentioned, you see that all of the areas in the facilitated self-assessment are listed here. So let's say you were working on your facilitated self-assessment assistive technology portion. You could click on there and scroll down, and you see everything that has to do with assistive technology, the publications that we have around that area. Again, you're always going to see the side-by-side regulations, federal and state regulations, and then some videos. So again, any area that you feel your staff needs extra help, training, child find, if folks aren't familiar with what that means, again, publications on that information. So when you click on one, it brings it up. So there's, for example, the special education evaluation IEP process resource that we have. That's a flow chart. Just a lot of good information in sharing that with you. I'm sorry, I think I lost my, bear with me one second. The screen went away. Okay. So finishing going up through there. If you keep scrolling down through each one of these, you're going to find information and resources within each one. For example, let's say that you wanted to look at evaluation report. You would click on there for that file review section. And again, you'd find the annotated evaluation report, the Chapter 14, our state regulations, Chapter 711 regulations around evaluation. And again, Can't say it enough that you're always going to find the side-by-side federal and state regulations. And if you go to the very bottom of all of these areas, you'll find even information on the file review about Penn data and reporting for education environment, facilities used for special education. And I'll just show you one more. And then the NOREP, again, all those file review questions that go along with the NOREP are also there. Okay, so let's go back now. And again, can't say this enough, there are several ways that you can use this, including preparing for upcoming special education cyclical monitoring, meeting corrective action resulting from cyclical monitoring, resources to assist in completing the special education plan, general special education programmatic improvement, professional development for staff, and again, training for families or any other ways that you might need to use this information. So questions at this point?
Hi, Ronnie. We're getting a few questions in the chat regarding a copy of, like, hard copies of this resource. And we replied, you know, there are really no hard copies of this because it's a web-based resource. Somebody asked, there is not a handout link for the session on the Summit website. Thank you. Would it be possible to get a PDF of the presenter slides? I'd love to.
I thought Pam put it up today.
Okay.
I'll double check it. I did check it before the session, but it might have been taken down.
They do have it, so please check back and it will be up there. It was shared with the folks to post.
All right, excellent. And somebody asked when they'd have access to their FSA resources for if they're in phase 3. Lee Denick is on the call. Thank you. Lee is supporting me, the cyclical monitoring guide. I'll go ahead and post that. Is that okay, Lee?
Any other questions?
All right. Let's see here. We're getting just great feedback. This is a great resource.
Stop my share a moment.
I'm not seeing any other questions.
Okay.
Right now, if there are any questions or comments, we invite people. I know there are quite a few of us here on the call, 159 to be exact. So
the other thing that I would share with folks is please, at your convenience and time, really just go on the site and look around and really look at the things that Nicole shared with you about the Annotated IEP and really get familiar with it. And again, just like this comprehensive resource, go online and really peruse around. And again, some of it you may never look at, but other areas, one of the greatest questions I always get is when folks are getting ready to do their facilitated self-assessment, sometimes they're not sure where to start. So this is really a good guide to help you with that, whomever is actually filling out the facilitated self-assessment. And again, after you are cyclical monitored, for example, you know, doing corrective action, because you know, this is just a good resource for that. Anything else, Nicole?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Any other questions in the chat, Suki?
is there a place to find a list of patent consultants and their specialties and contact info? If so, you can reach out when you have a question. Yes, there is. Do you want, Ronnie and Nicole, can one of you answer that question? I'm going to try and get this document available for everyone to access.
Okay.
Nicole, do you want to bring that up on the patent website?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Let me start my screen share. Okay, so again, just taking you back to the patent training or the patent homepage, you can see across here we have a list of all the different types of supports that you can possibly look for under the patent initiatives, the patent system. Under multi-tiered system of support, you have a different, you have MTSS as a whole, you have behavior, dyslexia screening and early literacy, English learners, equity. You can see my screen, right? Correct? Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, literacy, mathematics, I just clicked on literacy, but just so as an example, you can see as an example for literacy, and then I'm gonna, if you scroll down to the bottom, hopefully I'm not making you dizzy. I'm sorry, right here, you'll see consultants. If you click on consultants, it will give you a listing across the patent system where what office each of our consultants, literacy consultants, are located in, and then as well if they share lead or office lead or state lead responsibilities. So I'm going to take you, because this is the Special Education Leadership Initiative, I'm going to take you there so that you can see those individuals. So under supports is where you would find special education leadership. And you click on that. Again, the same thing. It's the pages are laid out the same. So under here, you would again find the consultants, what office they're located in, and then whether or not they have state or office lead responsibilities. And then the other which we align ourselves closely with is the Special Education Law Initiative, which is where many of these resources were compiled from. And again, here are the same thing, the consultants.
And click on a consultant's name, Nicole, to show them.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. I should have done that. I didn't think of that. Okay, so I'll click on Amira's name here. It's not letting me do it in Zoom mode. It should let you do it if you're not in Zoom mode. I think it's because we're in Zoom mode. It's not letting me. Okay. So again, just as Ronnie mentioned, the best thing to do with any kind of web-based form or document is just to explore it and navigate, even our website, to navigate our website. Again, if you're looking for a specific initiative, here's where you want to be. This is your navigation bar that's going to have all the specific patent statewide initiatives, as well as any special projects, any other resources. As Ronnie pointed out, under legal is PD resources, which is where you can find that resource that she just reviewed with you. So that's under PD resources. Again, just that's the best way that I can share, is to just explore and to help you to navigate the website and find resources that you want to find, but also any of the consultants that are tied to that initiative can help you navigate to get you the right resources as well.
Okay, and it appears that the links to that the names are not live links on the website. We're getting people posting that the consultant names are not live links to emails. So Carol Good, thank you for posting another way to search for consultants, and she has provided a link in the chat box. Know that the pattern is typically our first initial, our last name @patent.net. You can reach any one of us. But if you're looking for specialty areas and who's supporting what, it's a good idea to use that patent webpage to know who your most direct contact will be. Thank you, Carol. Also duly noted, thank you, Bill Furco has posted that the Cmci schedule has been posted. It was sent out via a pen link last week. I am trying to find that pen link. I have yet to find it. So ask your special ed director or whoever receives those pen links, ask in your district so you know. And Bill, if you find that link or anyone else with the link to that pen link, feel free to post it in our chat box. Any other questions for Ronnie or Nicole? Great information. All right, thank you for the affirmations that are coming in. Okay, I have 4:45. Nicole and Ronnie, we can stay on the call longer, but I feel like we could give the code right now, and if people want to move on their way, that's fine. Thank you so much. Great job. Okay, so here's what you need to know for the end of the day today. I'm going to give you the code session in just a moment. You want to enter, know that Act 48 credit is being awarded to participants who attend the full afternoon on Monday and or the full morning on Tuesday. You must complete the credit verification survey and submit session codes by close of business day on Friday, August 6th. That's Friday, August 6th. The survey is to be completed just one time after attending your final session of the summit. The survey will open at 3:30 on Tuesday. And that survey link to complete for your Act 48 credits is in your chat box. If you don't already have that, keep hold of it now. Your code for this session is HPGE3. It's going to be in your chat box. That's H as in halo, P as in Papa, G as in golf, E as in echo 3. So gratitude to Ronnie and Nicole for all the work that they've done to pull together these amazing resources. We are on the line here and going to stay here for any further additional questions about the website or any of the content that they have shared. Carol, good. If you just want to stay on the call, I have a quick question for Carol. Well, Ronnie and Nicole, I hope you're reading the chat box. Lots of kudos. Yeah, I think that is just enough. People are going to be exploring. Other questions for people that are staying on the call? I have a question from Valerie about a code for a previous session. Valerie, I can just ask you to reach out to Carol Good. Carol, are you on the call with us?
I think Carol just left a minute ago.
All right. Valerie, stand by for 2 seconds here.
Was that just the session code for a previous meeting today that was needed?
Sorry, Rob. Yeah, it was a code for the previous session.
Sorry, I see a question in the chat. I was just going to address what we've heard. So this is how have other districts used the IEP training with staff as far as the union goes, et cetera. So one of the things that I know that has been done when supervisors are looking at providing that as professional development is, they either do it during dedicated in-service days or they have, paid time, whatever the case may be, but they work it into their schedule. So I would say, logistically, we can't tell you union wise, how to handle that with your union, but what we know from other LEAs is they've incorporated into their professional development calendar as part of, that offering of professional development for the teachers that they wanted to provide that to. I would say too, you know, like in working with the dyslexia pilot too, teams that we oftentimes had them do coursework, much like the Essentials for IEP Writing. And we did the same. We would, you know, work with the district to either give them paid time, schedule it in their, you know, ACT 80 days, in-service days, professional development days, orientation, whatever the case may be, but to include it. And as mentioned, I know that some of their districts have said about it being incorporated into their induction program. So that's another way to handle maybe getting professional development in with IEP Essentials.
Other questions for Ronnie and Nicole about the resources offered today in Hot Off the Press? Please use your chat box. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. We still have over 31 people on the call. Okay, one more time. The session code for this was HPGE3. We thank you for your attendance today. We hope that you all have a wonderful afternoon. Again, we're going to stay on the call a little bit longer to answer any questions that you may have. It looks like the slides are available now.
I'm not sure what happened there because I did double check before we got on, but.
Okay. Yeah, they're definitely there.
Okay, that's good news.
Thanks, Silky.
You're welcome.
I think, oh, never mind.
Yep, Rob, we can wrap up the session. If nobody has any further questions, we still have a few participants. If you want to either ask a question or go ahead and take that code and be off with your afternoon, we're going to stay on the call a little bit longer. So thank you, Nicole and Ronnie.
Thank you, Silky.
I will start tomorrow at 9 o'clock. The first breakout 4 session. Okay. Let's see here.
All right, guys, have a good afternoon. Hopping off.
All right. See you, Ronnie.
Okay, bye, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nicole, you want to hold on for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's just you and Rob and I.
I'm thinking those people weren't on necessarily. You know?
I think it went well. So, I mean,
Oh, I was surprised at the number of people.
yeah, once people
Honestly.
get a hold of that link, then they're like off to the races.
Yeah.
It's a matter of knowing that they exist. So what a valuable, you know,
Oh,
I'll be at, I'm sure, very.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And You know, the problem is like, well, it's always a problem that our, you know, the concern is that people don't know where to go on our website.
Yeah.
You know, they get there and they just get overwhelmed because they don't know what to click on. Where am I going to find this resource? So I think that conversation, that question, how do we find these people? How do we know what resources are available? And the last session, were you on the MTSS session with Butler?
Yeah.
Yeah, that too, again, just pushing out resources, you know.
Yeah, great. I just have a text here from Paula to remind everybody that the conference starts tomorrow at 9 with Trish Andrews. So I missed that ball, but.
Well, no, you said it, but I don't know how many people are on. But.
All right.
Okay, Sophie, thank you so much. Thanks, Rob.
In case you were sticking around a little bit longer, but I'm going to drop off here.
I think we're good. Thanks, Rob. We're done.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks, Sophie.
Yeah, you're welcome.